Hey guys, this is my actual upload for today, and the video I have planned is basically how to make your home workouts as best as you possibly can, not only for now, but the actual future. And it's quite unfortunate that I wasn't able to come up with this kind of idea beforehand, like way when quarantine started, because gyms are starting to opening up now. But it'll still work in the short term. It would have worked better in the long term, which is unfortunate. So but this still works in, like, if you have to take a break from the gym for a long period of time, do this specific thing, and I'm gonna kind of prove what it is. Now it's a mixture of some two things I've talked about on the channel before. One being nuclei overload training, and the second being muscle memory. Now, for what people don't know about those two things, I will link the nuclei overload training videos up in the corner, but I'll just give them a brief go over again. Now, nuclei overload training is when you break down or you break down a muscle, no matter whether how you work it, with weights, resistance, body weight, doesn't matter. You break down the muscle, but what the muscle gets built by is protein, but you need the brain of the cell, which is called a myonuclei, to kind of control that muscle cell or that muscle fiber. Now, in each muscle fiber, there's a certain amount of myonuclei, and eventually, that muscle strain, fiber cell, whatever you want to call it, can't store any more myonuclei, so it has to make an entirely new muscle fiber to have more myonuclei. Now, what you do, how this works is there's these things called satellite cells going around your muscles, and they repair damages by adding more myonuclei. It's called nuclear fit or not nuclear fission, nuclei fission, and it's where the satellite cells basically sacrifices its nucleus to become myonuclei, and that makes you gain more muscle. Now, this type of training doesn't build muscle. That's a big misconception about it. What it does is it lets you have more myonuclei at a time. It gets you more myonuclei way faster than just normal training. So when you go and actually train, you'll build muscle way faster because you get to skip a whole portion of the muscle building, which is getting that satellite fusion into myonuclei. So that's what nuclei overload training is, and well, how it works is, now how you do it is basically you want to train a muscle group as hard as possible every single day. Well, not really as hard as possible, but what a lot of people do is 100 reps for 30 days. That is nuclei overload training. You're just overloading the muscle to where it breaks down so much that it has to sacrifice a lot of satellite cells to build more myonuclei to eventually build more muscle. Now, how you do this in a program is you do, let's say, a 10 by 10 set. Now, usually you'd go to the gym and maybe you're doing it on your chest. So for bench press, you do a 10 by 10 and then you do that every single day and you do the rest of your workout, whatever. Now, how you do it in quarantine is, let's take Monday, for example. You make that you want to do this in kind of either a, you can do it every single day, or you can do one muscle group every single day. So you're basically, it's kind of like a full body thing, but it's over the course of a week. So it's kind of like a push-pull legs, but because you're hitting the full body on different days, but you're not doing it every single day. So it's not nearly as much of a kind of stress on the body as actual nuclei overload training, but you're still getting the same results if you do such a high volume of it. So what I recommend doing is something like you do push-ups for 10 by 10, and in between you do another exercise. So you do push-ups, then you do dips, or you do curls or pull-ups or whatever, and you do 10 by 10, and you do the full body. You do whatever muscle groups you want to do, and you'll be building a bunch of myonuclei for those muscles. So when this quarantine ends and you get back in the gym, you'll build muscle crazy fast, and you'll probably even like surpass how much muscle you originally had before quarantine ended, right? Now, the next thing I said was muscle memory. Now, what muscle memory is when you start to lose your muscle, you keep your myonuclei. So the brain of that cell is still there, but it has no muscle around it for that brain to use, right? You lose the muscle, but you keep the myonuclei. Now, studies say this is at least up to 7 weeks, because that's how long the study that I read lasted. It doesn't say whether or not it's longer or shorter than that, it obviously goes up to 7 weeks, so it cannot really be shorter, but it doesn't say if it goes longer than that. Now, I read more studies saying that if you do 1/7 of your actual work capacity to build muscle, you'll maintain that muscle as long as you're eating enough protein, you have a good diet, and you're not in a super low calorie surplus. So how this muscle memory and this myonuclei thing would, or nuclei overload would work is during this quarantine until your gym opens, do nuclei overload so you're building as much. You're not only maintaining the muscle you have because you're doing that work, but you're also building more myonuclei. So when you get into the gym, you'll build more muscle just because you have more myonuclei, but also because of the muscle memory. So your muscles will want to be, hey, we've already been this big, we'll instantly get up that big if we have enough calories and protein to build that muscle, right? But then you can stack more myonuclei on top of that to build muscle even faster. So basically this is just like a little superpower that this quarantine would have gave us if I had come up with the idea sooner and I was actually able to go with it. I started doing this kind of training about a week or two ago, and I didn't really think about the fact that I could combine nuclei overload and the muscle memory like thesis together to prove that once a gym starts, I'll be able to gain muscle extremely fast as long as the nuclei overload worked and the muscle memory worked, which I'm sure it will. So basically, how you want to program your home workouts, I'm not going to give you a program for free, obviously, but program your workouts so you're hitting a muscle just super, super hard every single day, and you're causing the satellite cells to fuse and make myonuclei, and then muscle memory will kick in along with how much myonuclei you have. Once the gym starts, you'll make muscle gains crazy, crazy fast, along with when you rest for such a long period of time, like it's a deload, you basically like kickstart a portion of your newbie gains. And what newbie gains are is when your muscles are introduced to stimulus, they just grow extremely fast. This and nuclei overload training are kind of the same thing. They're practically linked because of the way you train the muscle and you stop and then it just builds itself up or whatever. But I'm not going to get into that right now. But the idea is that you want to program to do nuclei overload training for this entire quarantine. Once the gym starts, just train like your normal self and you'll make gains crazy, crazy fast. And you'll probably even surpass how much gains you had in the first place within like 3 months or so, which I think would be phenomenal. And obviously, this could not work. I'm sure it will because the science says so and whatnot. But even if it didn't work, you're going to get some gain out of it. Maybe not surpass your gains or even make up for the lost gains, but you're going to gain from it because it's better than not working out and having no stimulus at all, right? So definitely give this a shot if you're doing home workouts. Just program your workouts a little bit differently. Overload the muscle. Eat a lot of food because it takes a lot of energy to make satellite cells myonuclei and then build the muscle after that. And then once the gym hits, just train hard, harder than you ever have to get those gains back, and you'll make them back crazy fast. And that's really all I got for this video. So subscribe, like the video, hit the bell notification if you like this and you want to see more, and that's really all I got for you. So I'll see you in the next one.